Hi everybody, it's Abramo from Pickford Media, here reviewing some headphones. Being a sound recordist, one of the things I rely on super heavily is a really good set of headphones, and I've gone through lots and lots of different headphones, and I've finally found the absolute holy grail Abramo certified headphones that I love so much. A lot of other soundies and people in general use these bad boys, the Sony MDR-7506s, kind of the workhorse of the sound world. They're very good. I used these for a fair while, and then I swapped to a few different pairs of AKGs for a while, and then I tried the Sennheisers, but I've got a really big head, and the Sennheisers tend to restrict all blood flow to my brain, so not 100%. And then I was surfing on the internet late one night when I found these. These are Ultrasones. They're a Bavarian company, so not German, Bavarian according to their website, and they make these incredible headphones using some pretty cool technology, which I don't really know what the deal is with it. But basically, they're the best headphones I've ever tried in my life. They're very rugged. They're much better to my ears anyway than the Beyerdynamics. A lot of people run those. They're smaller, they're lighter, they're cooler. But the most important thing about them is the lack of ear fatigue at the end of the day. So most days that I'm working, I'm on set for up to 12 hours. Most of that time I'll have a set of headphones on pretty much all the time. And by the end of the day, using the Sonys and the AKGs as well, you're sick of hearing things and you can't get away from it. By the end of the day, I just have really bad ear fatigue. And when you're doing longer form jobs and you're out there for a couple of weeks at a time, it's just like it grinds you down, and I feel like I never find my ears have reset back to how they should be by the next day. And so it's a real cumulative effect for me. I don't know if anyone else has that. But the Ultrasones, I get absolutely none of that. So I have the HFI-780s. So these aren't the very top of the range that they have. I tossed up between these and the Pro 990s I think they had on sale at the time. I picked these just because they fit my ears a little bit better. They take a while to get used to the sound though, as they've got this bit of technology which means that the driver is sort of situated in such a way that it sounds like you're hearing studio monitors. There's a lot more air around the sound, and they're incredibly detailed, which can be good and bad. I find I've had to reset the way I think and the way I hear on set. A lot of the time I want things to sound perfect because I'm a perfectionist, and most people who work with me will know that I will grumpily go and turn everything off and growl at people if they don't shut up. So these really accentuate that in a huge way. They're very, very detailed. Like the clarity is amazing. I absolutely love them. But if I can get something sounding good on these, it's gonna sound amazing on anything else. Especially some other really high-end headphones I use, or if I'm in the studio and I've got really nice monitor setup. So it's good. I know that if I can get something good sounding on these, it's gonna sound great on everything. And I found very much, especially with the AKGs, I use 4 or 5 different kinds of those. You would have it sound pretty good on there, and it would sound pretty average everywhere else. So I absolutely love the Ultrasones. As I said, it takes a while. It took me a good 4 or 5 weeks to really have my ears get used to the sound that they were hearing, because it is a very natural sound, and it doesn't at all sound like headphones, which is good for me. I prefer it. So you may notice bright blue. This isn't how they come. These are a Garfield product, and we'll link them down below. They go over the cup. You can take them off really easy. They're a sonically neutral material, but they keep your head really nice and warm in winter, and they keep your head really nice and cool in summer. So they wick all the sweat away and do all that good stuff. But in winter, it's like wearing warm earmuffs. On these headphones in particular, it does change the sound a little bit. So again, I had to get used to it, but especially since I've got glasses and the ear cups don't sit on my ears as much, with these. So just adjusting it, I'm sure anyone with glasses and headphones understands the struggle is real. One of the things I love about these headphones and with the technology that Ultrasone use is you can monitor at much lower levels. So I tend to monitor quite loudly, and it's very bad for my ears. I've already got a bit of tinnitus from playing in bands back in the day, and I do have a tendency of listening to things too loud. So to be able to monitor at a much lower level has been an absolute lifesaver, which again is going to help the ear fatigue that I've been having. So being able to monitor at a lower level is amazing, and I mean that was worth the price alone. I managed to get these on a run out sale because I have a feeling that the HFI 780s is out of production now, and it's just been superseded by the next one along the line, which is probably going to be exactly the same. Construction wise, they're incredibly rugged. I've treated them really badly. I treat all my headphones really badly. I probably shouldn't, but they get knocked around in the bag. Sometimes I get pulled off my head. I leave them on my seat and I sit on them sometimes. I'm just a very clumsy kind of person. So they've held up incredibly well with only a few scratches on it, but I don't really care. The only downside I could think of these is the headband. You'll see up here, it's got this like little bit of foamy kind of stuff wrapped in some pleather. So the cups are made out of the same leatherish material. It feels really good on your ears after a while because of course they break in, but this one up the top here doesn't really break in that well, and it's a bit hard and a bit thin and weird. So sometimes just on the crown of your head, if you've been using them for a while, it just has a bit of pressure there. So I'm not a huge fan of that, but I'm going to come up with a way to fix that. I don't know, duct tape something to it. I've always got enough camera tape in the house. So if you're after a new set of headphones, definitely go try the Ultrasones. I prefer them sonically over anything else on the market, especially for the price. They are a bit on the exy side, but not really too bad next to Sennheisers. Are definitely more expensive than the Sonys, but I mean the Sonys are notoriously cheap but good quality for how much you pay. I think the Pro versions have a few cool features like the detachable cable out of the ear cup and a few things like that. It's probably the one downside of these is the cable isn't detachable and it's not coiled, and a few other things that I like in a cable and a set of headphones, but go try them on. The sound profiles across the range vary a fair amount, so go see what's comfortable, and if you can try one for a bit longer, definitely do that, because when you listen to them at first, they're going to sound a bit weird and a bit differently, but probably the best investment I've made for my ears. So yeah, Ultrasones. Need new headphones? Get some Ultrasones. This is not sponsored. I just absolutely love them. And I'll see you next time.